Hey, what's going on? How you doing, Ox? Hope y'all are having a good evening so far. On the docket tonight, we have Genshin Impact and Chaos Head NOAH, which we will do later. Alright. Checking for up, here we go. Okay. Yeah, I figured this might happen. So now we're gonna sit here for okay, I guess we won't sit here for 5 minutes. That's weird. It like completely skipped the verifying file integrity. That is, I don't know if I've ever seen it completely skip that before. I have seen it go through it like pretty fast before, but I've never seen it just like completely skip it. Alrighty. Oh, wait. Let's check out the notices first. Updates. iOS Metal FX. Okay. Fix an issue with Ganyu. After switching to her new outfit and casting her skill, there's a small chance that arrows fired by charge attacks would be positioned incorrectly. Okay. Well, that's for all you people who desire to spend your hard-earned money on pixels in the form of clothes. I mean, I do have to admit, though, she looks pretty damn good in her new dress. I mean, but anyway.
Being too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much?
Okay, so back to the oh yeah, I forgot to claim my stuff here. You know what? Why the fuck don't I just do that? Like, I swear to God, I've gotten in such a habit of just clicking through each of these to claim everything. Anyway. Okay. Yeah.
Boring.
Gotta love this mountain. It's like right in the way of where you want to go. Alright. Cornflakes. Nice. I'm more of a Raisin Bran person myself.
Here, this is it.
Oh, the Frosted Flakes are good too.
Hi. But isn't this the mechanism that you were tinkering with when we first got here? Oh, is it another invention of yours?
Precisely. A recent one at that. I am most pleased with the result. I call it the Suspensus Somnium mechanism. It periodically releases a soft breeze, which when paired with a gentle adeptal tune, can help the listener subconsciously relax and even enter a semi-hypnotic state. Soothing agitation and anxiety,
Alrighty.
relieving exhaustion and insomnia, its potential uses are numerous indeed. And of course, it can also aid in the recovery of lost memories.
You don't like raisins? Bro, you're missing out, man.
Whoa, what a cool gadget! But if you had it all along, why did you keep it to yourself until just now? We could have come to Mount Outsong right off the bat and saved time on a lot of floating.
Normal grapes.
How preposterous. Had Yuendai not recalled much of her past through her own efforts, the device would have nothing to draw upon. We Adepti can only help those who first resolve to help themselves. Had she lacked such determination and strength of character, one would have little to offer in way of assistance.
So just FYI, this story quest really isn't so much about Xianyun here as it is about the old lady that's standing behind her in this shot here.
Paimon thinks she gets it now. Hey, what's that other thing?
As previously mentioned, a gentle adeptal tune is required to take full advantage of the mechanism. One secured such a tune from Streetward Rambler. Only with her melodies can the mechanism reach its peak power.
Whoa, Paimon can feel what you mean. Paimon's body feels light as a feather. It's as if she's lying down on a warm patch of grass after a super satisfying meal.
Bro, you put salt on cereal?
And
Okay.
you and I. Is the mechanism helping you to relax? It appears she has already succumbed to the depths of reverie. Come, join one on this side. We shall give her some time to herself.
Oh, you add salt to grapes? Or just burn? Okay, whatever.
The drought is over. But why do you look like you want to cry?
The potion. It's nearly run its course.
I've never regretted meeting you. Not even for a second.
Please. Please, no. Have you forgotten? This is the world you left behind. One of gentle breeze and morning dew, perfectly straddled betwixt the realms of heaven and earth. This is your home. This is where you belong. You should have never left. The you of the past, the me from not that long ago. We should have never.
She's schizo, yeah. They had to visualize her memories somehow.
So that is the truth. No wonder this place is so familiar.
Granny! Granny, are you okay?
Cloud Retainer.
Your memories have returned?
Wait, did you just call her by her full name? Does that mean you already knew each other?
Yes. I now remember everything. Everything.
She's curvy? Wait, which one? Xianyun or the old lady?
Granny, please don't cry.
Because
I'm
I
here.
assume you're
I'm
not
here.
talking about the little girl there or Paimon.
Oh, don't worry, my dear child. Granny is fine. I'm so sorry, everyone. You've gone to so much trouble on my behalf. It's all come back to me now. The most important thing that I had forgotten was the truth of what I once was.
One can sense the guilt that now plagues your conscience. Reclaiming a truth long buried is sure to come with a myriad of complex emotions. Perhaps one should recount the story on your behalf while you compose yourself.
No, it's okay.
Xianyun, yeah.
Now that I've remembered, I must face my memories head on. Shuyu, everyone, I cannot thank you enough for all your help. I'm ready to tell you my story, if you're willing to listen.
Please, Granny, don't force yourself. What happened in the past doesn't matter. I love you more than anything. Nothing you say can change that.
I know, dear child. My feelings for you are exactly the same. It is for this reason that you deserve to know the truth. Some time ago, I made a terrible mistake. One for which I could never atone.
Is this the sin that you mentioned in Joyun Karst? What happened?
I am, in truth, not a human being. My real form, one that I held for centuries, was that of a wild crane.
Oh. So she's basically the same as Cloud Retainer then.
I spent many, many years living on Mount Outsong, bathing in the soft breeze and drinking the sweet dew of the mountains. At some point, I somehow gained wisdom and sentience. The Lord of the Mountain, Cloud Retainer, became aware of my existence and began to share many stories with me. She even passed on the secret of cultivation to me. Though she never took me on as a formal disciple, I always saw her as my master. Whenever she took out her tools to work on mechanisms or new inventions, I would also stand next to her and watch. I even contemplated completing my training and becoming an adeptus in my own right. I followed her teachings, and time gradually passed us by. Until that fateful day 50 years ago.
50 years ago?
Wait. Is she saying she, like, duped her husband into thinking that she was purely human? That might be what this is about. During the drought that struck Leeway?
That's right. Master regaled me with many stories of her past deeds. From them, I learned how she had saved people from a similar crisis in the past. She was the one I looked up to the most. More than anything, I dreamt of becoming an adeptus like her. I wanted to travel the land like she had, relieving suffering wherever I went. But I was still far from being a real adeptus. I possessed no ability to take on human form and fit in with the crowd. Once she learned of my desires, Master prepared a special dose of human mimicry potion for me. She warned me that the potion's effects would only last 10 years, and if I were to fail to return to my original form at the end of that time, I would forever forget my past as a crane and become something neither human, beast, nor adeptus.
Well, apparently she failed to return to her original form then.
Oh no. So that was the source of your dementia all along.
But you never turned back into a crane.
Was it because of Grandpa?
Indeed, I fell in love. Though he was human, he had spent his entire life training on Mount Tianheng. When we met, it was not only my first foray into the world below, but his as well. Although clumsy and impulsive as he was, you'd think he was the real strange bird among the two of us. But still, just like me, he cared deeply about the world and wanted, more than anything, to cleanse it of all pain and suffering. I could not help but fall for him. But my time continued to tick away. Those 10 years passed by in a flash. Yet I did not want to leave his side, so I...
Oh no, what happened next?
I committed an offense. I wanted to stay with him, even if it meant living a life full of pain and suffering, even if it meant that I would eventually turn into a monstrosity. I knew I had betrayed Master's hopes, but I was too ashamed to face her. So I wrote her a long letter instead and asked someone to leave it outside her abode. I was convinced that she would not support my decision, and I lacked the courage to speak to her face to face. In my shame, I fled and tried to hide from the world, such that no one would be able to find me again.
So that's why.
But that was only the beginning of my troubles. I began to suffer from a strange illness. My memories became hazy and confused, and I could no longer keep myself awake. I understood that my pain was caused by my refusal to return to the life I was fated to lead. Along with my memories as a crane, I soon forgot the true cause of my suffering as well. I knew only that I had committed a sin. All I could do was pray for forgiveness, even if I had long forgotten what needed to be forgiven. Looking back, I was beyond lucky to have come across that traveling merchant at Wangshu Inn. It was such a fortunate coincidence that we were there at the same time. If it weren't for those soul-revitalizing tea pills, I probably would have...
Granny, what's wrong?
Coincidence? Why did I ever think it was a coincidence? Tea pills concocted using the blood of an adeptus? No, it couldn't be. Master, don't tell me. Back then, that merchant was actually...
Human custom would dictate the conferral of gifts to be in order when one's progeny is wedded, would it not? Consider the pills a symbol of one's best wishes.
Or when one's progeny is what? What does that mean? Progeny wedded? Okay, I have no fucking clue what she's talking about. Oh, okay. Basically, she's saying it's human custom to give gifts to your children, I guess, basically, when they get married. That's that's what she's saying.
So when I tried to conceal my name and mistakes from the world and hide myself away in perpetuity, the only person I managed to deceive was myself. You knew where I was all along.
One still remembers when you were but a fledgling. You possessed a certain fondness for a particular game. You would hide yourself among a group of wild cranes and ask one to pick you out from among the flock. One found you with such ease every time. 'Tis a truth most evident. One always recognizes one's own, no matter what form they may take.
Wait! Paimon's confused! Center, you found Yuendai again? But how? When? And what happened after that?
Perhaps it is now time for one to recount the rest of the tale.
Cutscene? Yeah, Xianyun is the mountain goddess. Okay. Well, now we have become solo
One was
Xianyun.
furious upon receiving your letter. Seized with anger, one set out to bring you to your senses.
Uh-oh.
In truth, one had more than a few misgivings about your chosen partner. As an exorcist, his talent was lacking. One could hardly say his skill with sigils was any better.
Wait. Bro. Are you saying he's not worthy to marry her because he's not skilled? Like, that's such old-fashioned fucking way of thinking, dude.
But soon, one came to appreciate the devotion he bestowed upon you during your illness. He never uttered a complaint and rarely left your side. Unwilling to begrudge someone of such character, one decided to overlook his aforementioned deficiencies, glaring though they may have been. Wishing to grant you a life without regrets, one gathered many divine ingredients and used one's own blood to create a form of medicine. Though imperfect, it managed to suppress the more dire effects of your illness. As for how to deliver the medicine, after much contemplation, one eventually decided to perform the deed oneself. One took great care to alter one's features and select the appropriate attire. Only after meticulous scrutiny did one finally set out for Wangshu Inn.
Xianyun put on a mustache.
As one expected, you were most ignorant of one's
Wait. Yeah, I just got a thing that said it disconnected for a little bit. Fuck. Don't fuck up on me, OBS. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, she had a mustache. Whoa. Wait, what? Where? Wait, where the fuck are we right now? Damn, we just came from... What is this place? Can I, like, get a walkway or something? Do I have to, like...
Nevertheless, one would speak to you about another matter, if you are amenable. Even considering your loss of memory, one was simply flabbergasted that you could so easily forget the consequences of consuming medicine infused with Adeptal blood. Its proclivity to attract monsters is hardly that complicated of a concept to remember. To think that you tried to travel while weak from sickness and heavy with child. Had one not intervened to clear the fog, all of you would have been lost during the night.
No, I think she said he's dead, I think, didn't he? Oh, nice. Oh. Bro, why is she so weak? You having to do all this just to defeat some frickin' hilly churls? Come on, buddy.
Stray clouds converge.
Okay. Bro, I'm getting electrocuted now? Really?
Make way for the Adeptus. Ho! Stray clouds converge. Derivative. Those monsters would hardly have pursued you with such ferocity without sufficient incentive. They were likely incited by the presence of godly remains. Said godly remains, in turn, were likely drawn to the trace of one scent on your body. One was, after all, an active participant in the Archon War. Some of the gods were likely shattered by contraptions of one's very making.
Wait. So does that mean that when she was hiding in that like abandoned house or whatever from the monsters, the only reason the monsters never came in was because she fought them off?
In the end, one was relieved to see you endure through the night. At the break of dawn, one heard an infant's cry pierce through the air, and one saw you carefully cradle the child to your chest. Although certain mortal matters remain foreign to me, one could not help but be moved by your joy. To see you happy, that was more than enough. Now you should have a complete understanding of the events.
Wait, but if that's true, then the crane who took care of me when I was sick must also be...
Ah, one had almost neglected to recount the absurdities of that tale.
Well, that's weird. This thing put us like right at Leeway Harbor. Okay, so this cave here does not exist in the real Tevat.
Just as you and I troubled one with her antics, so did you give one many a headache.
You hate Xianyun?
Upon finding you burning with fever, one made plans to bring you back to one's abode for treatment. However, upon seeing one's form, you began to cry, refusing to get on one's back. When one asked you why, apparently you believed that one could not possibly be a true Adeptus because all illuminated cranes are white from tip to toe. One had no choice but to apply powder to one's body to conceal the variegated nature of one's appearance. You became more than amenable enough when one stood before you devoid of any other coloring. It bears mentioning, however, that as a crane, Yuandai was nearly entirely pure white in color. Though you had never encountered her in that form, you still recognize the essence of her being. Perhaps fate brought you two together in more ways than one.
Okay, interesting. Racism. Ugh.
Now all has been revealed. One owes you an apology, Yuandai. One recognized you upon your very entrance into Wanmin restaurant. One has always viewed you as a disciple of equal standing with Ganyu and Shenhe. Indeed, one wished to bring your story to a satisfactory end with this visit to Liyue Harbor. Still, one could not reveal your identity right away. Had one simply informed you of all you had lost, all those cherished memories would merely have become the fictionalized account of another. Memories are most meaningful when recalled by those who lived through them. Would you not agree? Even if the process was painful and arduous to experience. Have you any further inquiries?
Master, I must ask. If you found me all those years ago, why did you leave me be, even though you knew about my mistake? Why did you not bring me back to Mount Outsong by force?
Why do you think she's psycho?
One has never regarded your action as a mistake. It was a simple choice, nothing more. When it is time for one's progeny to leave the nest, it is the responsibility of an elder to let them fly free. Yet, when your wings grow weary and the night grows dark, just know that you always have a place to which to return. 'Tis a refuge referred to by many a name in mortal writing. Home, nest, haven. Whatever its denomination may be, its essence remains quite unchanged. One speaks, of course, of a place not unlike one's own abode. One's disciples are free to come and go as they wish, yet the door remains forever open to those who wish to return. One rather hopes you count yourself among them.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You and I. One expects you too have sensed the rapid deterioration of your condition as of late. Have you not?
You're thinking with your dick, bro? Wait. I'm not thinking. I haven't said anything about Xianyun. You're the one who's all like... she's devoid of empathy. I mean, yeah, maybe she does have some kind of issues with empathy, but that doesn't make her a psycho.
40 years ago, you chose a path without a future. Though one used one's own blood to provide you with a few decades of extra time, it merely delayed the inevitable. One may have extended the path, yet one was unable to alter its final destination. Even the power of an Adeptus has its limits. Had your condition continued to deteriorate, you would have forgotten your life as a human entirely. In the end, you would have turned into a creature lacking in the ability to even comprehend its own monstrousness. Fortunately, you were able to avoid that scenario by reclaiming your memories. Though one sped the process along by providing some guidance, the result is entirely a reflection of your own effort.
So, what's gonna happen to Granny?
One will help her reclaim her original form as a wild crane. If it be fated, she may recover her sentience one day.
She's gotta go back to being a regular crane, huh?
Is there no other way?
Master, you've already done more than enough for me. I don't know how I could possibly repay your kindness. This is a better result than I could have ever hoped for. How much time do I have left?
She gave her the medicine. Well, yeah, but she did like fight off the monsters too, so I don't know.
Not long. The transformation is imminent.
Granny? Please don't leave, okay? You're all I have left. Please.
Don't be sad, dear child. Granny has led a wonderful life. My only regret is having to leave you behind. Don't forget to eat well, okay? A growing young lady like yourself needs lots of good food to grow big and strong. Promise Granny you'll take good care of yourself when I'm gone.
I promise, Granny. I'll do whatever you say.
Good girl, good girl. Don't worry. It's not goodbye forever. Granny's gonna become the most formidable crane in all of Mount Outsung. Granny will train day and night. I won't stop until I can turn into a human without having to rely on anything but my own power. When that day comes, we'll be able to live together again. You and I. How's that sound?
Good.
That's a good girl. Even though we won't see each other for a little while, as long as we both work hard, we're sure to meet again someday.
I'll eat well, Granny. I promise. And I'll wait for you, no matter how long it takes. I'll wait for you to come back.
That's a good girl. Then Granny really has no more regrets. I'm so sorry, Master. Thank you for everything.
Okay, yeah, that is kind of fucked up. Because now she's basically an orphan. Like, she has nobody to take care of her now.
Xianyun.
Let her be. At her age, crying is a natural, if not fitting, response to such an event. Tears are a necessary part of maturation. Sometimes there is scarcely a better vehicle to wash away the toll of stress and misery. Now that the issue has been resolved, you should also take a moment to relax. Give yourself some time to rest. Take a nap if you must. One will wake you in due time.
Well, damn, that's your...
I always believed we would see each other again, that our days of separation would finally end, and all my troubles would be behind me. If only things could stay this way forever.
Oh, yeah, I figured it had to be a dream or some shit. Like, they just popped that shit out of nowhere. I'm like, what?
A nightmare? Curious. If you're relaxed, shouldn't your dreams be pleasant?
It was a good dream. It's just...
You weren't ready to wake up. Eloquent as one may be, words of comfort are not one's strong suit. You are doing all you can. One can see your strength of will, your fearlessness in the face of danger. And so, whatever your dream may be, one believes that you shall achieve it. Of course, whenever the perils you face overwhelm you, or you become weary, one is always here for you. After all, as an elder, it is only right to look out for the young ones.
Grilled chicken drumsticks.
Well, anyway, I was gonna say before his sister showed up out of nowhere, I was like, damn, that was quick. I mean, her returning to her human form again, it's like she had just freaking left, and then she already comes back and she's in her human form again. Like, what the fuck?
Huh? Was Paimon sleeping just now? Oh. Oh, Paimon wasn't talking to you. Paimon had a dream about eating grilled chicken drumsticks, that's all. Madam Adeptus? Oh, Xianyun, you're awake. How do you feel?
Oh, wait. Her coming back in her human form was a dream, too, wasn't it?
I feel a little better. Thanks. I know I'll see Granny again someday, so I don't feel so sad anymore.
Okay, yeah.
Madam Adeptus,
That whole thing was a dream, apparently.
ask you something? Would you take me in as a disciple?
Oh, and have you reasons for this sudden interest?
I know Granny thought what she did back then was wrong. She felt really bad about it. But without that mistake, I would have never been born. Even though Granny lost her memories, she never forgot to show me how much she loved me. So, I thought maybe one day I could become a cool Adeptus like you and help a whole bunch of people, just like Granny wanted to do.
Upon some reflection, one supposes you are no mere mortal. The fact that Yuendai's blood flows through your veins is proof enough of that. If this is what you desire, one shall make it so.
Thank you so much, Madam Adeptus. No, I mean... Master. Chuyu, are you sure about this? Paimon's gonna let you in on a little secret. We've seen Cloud Retainer's 2 other disciples, and they pretty much eat nothing but bitter herbs like chinchin and violet grass. If you join them, you'll never enjoy Wanmin Restaurant's delicious cooking ever again.
How utterly preposterous. One has never enforced such a rule. Every individual must find their own path to enlightenment. So long as one retains a pureness of spirit, one's dietary proclivities are quite irrelevant.
Well, you say that, but Paimon's not seeing any tasty treats up here now, is she?
Although Mount Outsong is rich in natural beauty, its location does preclude access to certain finer mortal comforts. That is precisely why one plans to relocate to Liyue Harbor. Shu Yu shall have the honor of becoming one's first disciple in the human world.
Whoa, you're leaving Mount Outsong?
Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Is that why you took on this human form?
One has never concerned oneself with the location of one's residence. From the very beginning, one has sought only solace and peace. Yet in the end, all of one's disciples ended up in Liyue Harbor. Ganyu, Shenhe, Yuandai, they all chose a life among the mortal world. One has reflected on this fact for many years now. One can only assume that it is due to some failing on one's part as an elder or master. A failing, perhaps, of recognizing what it was they truly wanted. One is most curious as to what aspect of Liyue Harbor could have enticed them to remain there. One could hardly offer an opinion on the matter, but perhaps some time in the harbor will prove instructive. Why are you all so silent?
Paimon is, just a bit shocked, that's all. So, does this mean we can grab a meal together in Liyue Harbor sometime?
One has precious little time to squander. However, if one finds oneself otherwise unoccupied, one would not be opposed to the idea. One will be assuming the identity of a human while residing in Liyue Harbor. You should take care to avoid disclosing one's true identity.
Don't worry, we'll help you keep it a secret. So, when can we expect to start seeing you in the city?
Perhaps in 2 days' time. One has some matters to see to before one's departure. Preparation is the key to success, after all. One plans to put up various items from one's collection for sale. The earnings should provide for a comfortable living in Liyue Harbor.
Lon Horiyuchi? No, I don't know who the fuck that is.
One has already picked out a handsome property near Chuhu Rock. 'Tis no small purchase, but what is mortal life if not one expense after another?
Yeah, I am in Oklahoma.
Seems like you've really thought of everything. Then how about we meet up in Liyue Harbor in 2 days?
A sensible plan. See you then. Oh, also, why don't you take this suspensus somnia mechanism as a souvenir? Anytime you should feel ill at ease in the future, you may try quieting your mind and sitting in meditation as you listen to its melodies. It might help you find a new perspective.
Awesome! Thanks, Cloud Retainer! Hey, didn't we promise Shincho that we'd tell him what we found out? Should we make a trip to the Feiyun Commerce Guild? It's totally up to you.
Oh my gosh, there's more to this shit. Okay.
I see value in my own work, but I also see the meaning in all the endeavors of the people of Fontaine. I believe I will continue to take pride in fulfilling my duties.
Your concerns are excessive and unfounded. This is but a simple collection of ordinary valuables. Such intense scrutiny is hardly necessary.
To be quite honest, your insistence on that fact is my primary cause for concern. In what way are any of these ordinary? Every single item here could be worth more than everything I own combined. I simply can't risk shelling out that kind of mora without proper scrutiny. If I'm wrong, I would never be able to earn it back, not even if I worked every single day for the rest of my life. I have to be careful. Yes, you can never be too careful.
We're here, Clow. Miss Xianyun, what are you guys arguing about?
Ah, perfect timing. This ignoramus is questioning the authenticity of my wares. I'll have you know, these items have remained untouched in my personal collection for several hundred years. To question their legitimacy is pure folly.
Several hundred years?
Indeed. They're family heirlooms, you see, passed down over many generations, as families are wont to do.
Yep, they've definitely been around a while. We can vouch for her on that one.
Hear that? Had I not found myself in need of mora, I would scarcely have had the heart to part with them. Indeed, you should consider it an honor to even have the opportunity to behold them with your own eyes. Doubt their authenticity any further, and I may just decide to take them to another buyer.
Whoa, please don't go! I apologize for any insult, miss. You see, I know full well that I lack the knowledge to judge the true worth of these items. If you could wait but a moment, I've hired an expert to appraise them for me. He should be here shortly.
An expert, you say? Very well. I will wait for a little while longer, then. Traveler, Paimon, this is my new residence. If you have cause to seek my company in the future, this is where you can find me.
Master! Oh, it's you two again. Hello. Xianyun! You got a new outfit! It looks great on you. Mm-hmm. Master made it for me. I like it too. Huh? You know how to make clothes?
Do I know how to make clothes? With the support of the proper mechanism, sewing is hardly a challenge.
Master, I brought in most of my stuff. There's a few boxes left, but they're kind of heavy, so I just left them outside.
Fret not. I shall help you move them into your room.
Actually, I should probably sort through my stuff a bit first. Everything's kind of messy right now, so maybe you could, not look yet, Master? Yeah, that'd be great.
It appears my young apprentice has her own fair share of secrets. No matter. Do what you must, child. Now, this expert you mentioned, when can we expect their arrival?
Soon. Ah, there he is! Here, allow me to make some introductions. This is Mr. Zhongli, a well-respected consultant at Wangshang Funeral Parlor and an expert in all manner of valuables and antiques. Mr. Zhongli, this is Miss Xianyun. She's the one who's looking to sell the collection of valuables I mentioned earlier.
If it isn't Miss Xianyun. It has been quite some time since our last meeting. What a serendipitous reunion.
Indeed, most serendipitous. Have you been faring well as of late, Mr. Zhongli?
Quite well, thank you. I was fortunate enough over the past few days to enjoy both a stroll in the mountains and a fresh brew of tea from the most recent harvest. The experiences left me with such insight and peace.
Huh. So you two are already acquainted?
Indeed. How fortunate we are that fate has brought us together again. If you are otherwise unaware, allow me to inform you that Miss Xianyun is a well-regarded collector and appraiser. She is well-versed in all fields, and oft-celebrated for her impeccable taste. You stand to gain much from this opportunity.
You are too kind, Mr. Zhongli. True collectors pride themselves on their wealth of knowledge and eye for detail. I can say without a doubt that you are foremost in that regard.
Why, you flatter me, Miss Xianyun. It would seem that you are as self-effacing as ever.
Not at all, Mr. Zhongli. Not at all.
While I am loath to butt into this conversation, I must ask, you two already knew each other, and you seem to have quite a cordial relationship. Can I be certain that you're not working together to swindle me? I mean, you never know.
Huh! A preposterous accusation! The heavens themselves would collapse before we would conspire to do such a thing.
Miss Xianyun speaks the truth. Contracts are built on honesty and trust. If that proves to be beyond your capabilities in this instance, this transaction may be taken elsewhere.
Say no more. Let us depart.
I jest. What fool would still harbor doubts after Mr. Zhongli himself has vouched for the goods? Miss Xianyun, wait! I deeply apologize for doubting you. So, Mr. Zhongli, could you please give me a final verdict on the value of these items?
There is no cause for concern. They are indeed rare and precious valuables. Take this mechanism, for instance. Though one may not immediately perceive its purpose, its structure and appearance are exquisite enough to merit it a place in any fine home. The same can be said for this one here. Few could hope to possess an item that so perfectly blends mechanical wonder with geometric grace. I am sure you have heard from your travels that the study of mechanisms is among the most wondrous arts in this world. With that in mind, I earnestly recommend procuring every last item in this collection.
All right. Since I hired you as my consultant, Mr. Zhongli, I shall, of course, trust your good opinion. Then, in that case, Miss Xianyun, I'll take the lot. However, since the final sum is quite large, how about we start with an initial deposit through the Northland Bank?
The Northland Bank? Huh. Oh, you refer to the fiduciary house. Oh, very well.
I fear people only use the term bank nowadays. In that case, I'll be off for now. I'll return to collect the goods once you've received the funds.
Zhongli!
My friends, have you been doing well?
We've been great! How about you? Paimon didn't know you were such a busy consultant!
My days have been quite pleasant as well. I had been quietly enjoying a cup of tea when Mr. Xiaozu requested my services. As for you, Miss Xianyun, I presume you must be looking to settle in the city?
I must say, the name Xianyun sounds exceedingly strange coming from you. Perhaps you could dispense of that particular epithet in further conversation.
Whatever for. Am I not addressing you as a friend should?
Well, that is true, but... Alas, refer to me however you will. After all, a name exists such that others may address you with it. One is hardly ignorant of that fact.
It would seem that you have gained many valuable insights over the years, Cloud Retainer.
One has indeed. One's previous stays were all brief. Now that one has made up one's mind to move and settle, one has gained a much better appreciation of the hubbub and commotion of the city, as well as the people's hard work and ardor. This city is much changed from how it was more than 1,000 years ago.
Not unlike the ocean tides, so too shall the movement of people ebb and flow. From turmoil to peace, enlightenment to aspiration. Human society possesses limitless potential. In another 1,000 years, the scene we witness here may change in ways that are impossible for either of us to imagine.
Alright, that's enough reflection for one day. No need to get all sentimental on us.
You make a valid point, Paimon. Now that the sale has concluded, what say one plays the host as we try some specialty dishes together? One must profess great interest in trying bamboo shoot soup.
Perhaps you have forgotten, Cloud Retainer, but I once tried my hand at that dish. You were at the table on that occasion, so logic dictates that you should have already tried it.
Oh? What occasion was this?
It was a reunion between friends several centuries ago. Alas, you must have been too preoccupied to secure yourself a portion. Or perhaps our other companions simply availed themselves of faster reflexes on that occasion.
Bro, if I could live several centuries, there is no way I would be able to remember a meal that I had like 300 years ago. Like, come on, bro.
Huh, hardly. 'Twas most certainly out of consideration for the others in attendance. In but a moment, one will show you what it means to have a true deftness of hand. It is settled then. Bamboo shoot soup, mora meat, crab roe tofu, triple-layered consommé. We shall enjoy the lot. One has already passed word to Xianyun Ganyu to make a reservation. It is prime time for them to meet one's newest disciple. Is that agreeable to everyone?
It should be a most splendid occasion.
Thank you so much, Cloud Retainer.
Shu Yu, come now, it is time to dine. Ah, this gentleman over here is Mr. Zhang Li. He is,
A humble employee of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Nice to meet you too, Mr. Zhengli. That should be everyone, right? Let's go! Sounds good. Actually, Master, have you ever tried Adeptus' temptation? I heard it's impossible to stop eating after even just one bite. You know, 'cause it's super tempting and stuff. Is that true?
That sounds rather implausible. Although with the right preparation, certain dishes can be too delicious to resist.
Huh? Why are you all walking so fast? Hey, wait for Paimon! Hey, wait up!
All right. The story quest is done. Monster Girl Island. The hell? Bro, what is this? Okay. Yeah, get out of my way,
Ad
woman.
Astra Abyssosk. Thank you for complete.
Alright. Well, I thought the new event was supposed to start today, but doesn't look like that's the case. Let me see when it actually is supposed to start. Alright, event. Skip all this. Is it this one? No, that's not it. Okay, that's in 2 days. Okay, and this event is in 4 days. Okay, well. Shit. I guess I won't be streaming any events then.
Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is crisp and pure, while water from Liyue has an enduring aftertaste.
I think I've
In
heard of
Inazuma,
Monster
the
Girl
water
Island,
possesses
but
a
I
depth of
can't
flavor unlike any other.
I can't like
Sumeru's water
remember
has
what
a
it
rich
looks
and
like or
complex
anything.
flavor profile, but it must be savored patiently to fully
Anyway,
appreciate it.
I guess let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get this. Alrighty. Well, let's go ahead and flip on over to Chaos Head. Alright. There any God of War left too? Yes, we will get back to God of War here in just a little bit. Probably in 2 days, I think. Some more wholesome game? Wait, you're saying Chaos Head is more wholesome than Genshin Impact? Oops. Didn't mean to hit that. Okay. Alright, what happened last time on Chaos Head NOAH? So Senna and Kazupi were, I guess they were wandering the underground subway. You find the DLC more boring? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. The story's not as interesting in the DLC as it is. Because the DLC is mainly just going through a bunch of fights. I mean, that's pretty much... Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even flip the damn thing over to the game here. Hold on a sec. There we go. Anyway, as I was saying, so Senna and Kazupi were in the underground subway system. They happened to find Senna's father down there, and Senna was going to kill her father, but then she had a moment of hesitation, and then it turns out that Sua shot her father instead, although he was actually trying to shoot Senna, but her father got in the way and took the shot, took the bullet instead. And then Takumi showed up, and then Sua started trying to kill him. So he was throwing a bunch of those stakes that were used in the crucified murder into Takumi. But then right near the end, Takumi did a, I guess we'll call it a switcheroo, and made Sua the one that was stabbed by all the stakes. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy Deus Ex Machina. And then let's see, after that, oh yeah, Senna had received a message in her head from her father right before he died, telling her where where NOAH 2 was located. So then she told Takumi, and then that's where we stopped for the night. So we will pick up from there. Kozo Inohana, member of the lower house of the Japanese National Diet. And the edgy "let there be no illusion, I'm totally not doing this because you asked me to" thing. He's doing it for the right, well, yeah. And Yudai Kuramochi, founder and leader of the Cosmic Church of the Divine Light, were looking at the huge machine in front of them with satisfaction. It was NOAH 2, and it was giving off an eerie roar.
5000人を殺すと言い出した時はどうなることかと思ったが。
調整には随分と骨が折れたよ。特に300人委員会に感づかれないようにするのはね。
ご協力に感謝します。
Norose bowed to them shallowly.
だがこれが完成した今、5000人などちっぽけな数字でしかなくなった。
早くも影響が目に見えて出てきているよ。人々の家畜化が始まっている。
これでいよいよ 我らが世界を手に入れる日も現実のものとなったわけだ。
Inohana and Kuramochi looked at each other, sharing an unnerving grin. Norose watched them, unmoving and unblinking.
しかしノロセよ。貴様、なかなか興味深い趣味を持っているようじゃないか。
何のことでしょう。
Inohana gave him a nasty smile. He jerked his head in the direction of the artwork next to NOAH 2.
なんとも芸術性にあふれるオブジェだ。ぜひわしにも一つ用意してもらいたいものだな。
素材ならば我が教団の信者の中からえりすぐりを提供してもよい。
倉持先生は気前がいい。
あれは餌ですよ。
餌？
ノア2をより完璧なものにするための。
まあそういうことにしておこう。
それよりノア2が具体的にどれほどのことができるのか実演してもらいたいところだね。
Bro, didn't they like just do a demonstration like 2 days ago?
もうそれはいい。早速やってみせたまえ。
Norose gave a small shrug. His face was still an expressionless mask.
では、このようなものはどうですか？
Norose began speaking, and by the time his sentence was finished, the demonstration had already begun. Both Inohana and Kuramochi were suddenly holding pistols in their hands. It had happened without the slightest change on the part of Norose, or even NOAH 2.
おお、本物そっくりだ。
まるで手品のようだよ。
手品と一緒にしてもらっては困ります。その銃の存在は現実。
Inohana and Kuramochi stared at the weapons intently before giving a satisfied smile.
実に素晴らし
い。いかにも神をも超越する力だ。
この銃は記念にもらっておくとするか。
小物ですね。
Norose's whisper went unheard by the other two.
早速今後の計画を検討しよ
う。計画。
まずは300人委員会の排除。
ノロセ、ご苦労だったな。
今後のことは追って連絡する。
The two went to leave the planetarium, both satisfied and pleased with themselves. But
その必要はありません。
何？
どういうことだ？
Only then did the expression on Norose's face change. His eyes narrowed, and he tilted his head very slightly to look at them from a height. He was looking down on them, both in a physical sense and in sheer contempt.
計画は私が引き継ぎましょう。ただし、あなた方の考えているような低俗な目的ではなく、より崇高な理由のためにです。
Norose's words were completely polite, but both Inohana and Kuramochi understood exactly what they meant and were enraged.
様、裏切るのか？
神にでもなったつもりかね。
300人委員会が黙ってはおらんぞ。
Wait, the committee... Didn't they just say they were gonna wipe out the committee of 300? Now they're... What the fuck?
お二人も300人委員会のメンバーでありながら反旗を翻そうとしていたではありませんか。
Norosei was staring at both of them. The look in his eyes was one of pure disgust. His cold gaze, like he was looking at something filthy, could only mean one thing. This whole time, he'd been using Inohana and Kuramochi for his own purposes.
これはすべて予定通りの行動ですよ。あなた方がここで死ぬことも含めて。
ふざけるな。
ざれ事。
Both Kuramochi and Inohana pointed their guns at Norosei. They pulled their triggers.
ざれ事ではなく。
Bursts of fire erupted from the guns at the same time, and the noise of the gunshots echoed throughout the dome.
予知だったのですが。
But it wasn't Norosei that collapsed, but Inohana and Kuramochi. For some reason, the two of them had pointed their guns at each other just before pulling the trigger. Death was instantaneous. The two of them both collapsed, identical holes in their skulls. Neither were breathing. They were now just lumps of meat.
NOAH 2は我が手にあります。特物にはその意味がお分かりにはならなかったようだ。
I don't know about that. Like, bro, did we even know those two characters existed before this scene? I don't know. Norosei's demonstration wasn't simply creating a pistol. He'd made the two of them both think the other was Norosei. That was also part of the demonstration, as well as their deaths. With NOAH 2's power, it was simple. Norosei turned his gaze to the artwork. There was Rimi Sakihata hanging, crucified on a cross-shaped object. Rimi had begged him to let Nanami go, and he'd agreed on the condition that she become his hostage instead. Nanami's psychological attacks had drained much of the life from her. Even now, she hung there helplessly. But when Norosei approached, her shoulders shook just a little.
自分の手を汚さずに卑怯なことばっかり。あなたこそ俗物だよ。
Norosei's palm struck her across the cheek. Then he grabbed her jaw and forced her to look at him. Her expression was dead, but there was still a bright, burning light in her half-opened eyes.
なぜ西条拓海に助けを求めないのです？
He whispered in her ear.
彼を巻き込まないで。
どちらの彼のことを言っているのですか？
二人ともだよ。
私としてはどちらか一人で十分ですがね。IR2 を生み出したものとその完全なるコピー。 二人とも化け物じみた力を持っている。彼らどちらかのコードサンプルが手に入れば、ノア2はより完璧へと近づくでしょう。神をも超える力を得るのです。
She knows what? Rimi looked down, pain on her face. Norosei tore his hand away from her jaw, then looked up at Noah too with a satisfied smile on his lips.
さあ、呼びかけなさい。どちらでもいい。私は歓迎しますよ。
About Double Taku? Yeah. Dude, she was the one who told Delusion Takumi about it. If anything, he was looking forward to it. Looking forward to Takumi Nishijo overcoming the trial that he'd laid out for him and coming here. The D-sword was my light as I walked through the dark tunnel. Now, Shogun Takumi was talking to him about it, but before that, Rimi had told him. Yeah, no. No, before that, dude. Before that, Rimi had already told him. I found myself walking faster. I'd never walked through a train tunnel before. I knew there weren't any trains coming, but still, I kept looking in front of and behind me to make sure. The distance between Shinsen Station and Shibuya was less than a minute by train. It should be less than a kilometer away. Fortunately, the Inokashira line tunnel hadn't collapsed completely. It felt like I could make it to Shibuya Station without too much trouble. There was one thing bothering me, though. What Kazupi had said before I'd left. She told me this.
たくさんのぐもぐもドロドロっていう意識がね、待ち構えてるのら。
There are icky, wormy minds. Okay.
コズピー、力になれないけど。気をつけてね、たくみさん。
Icky, wormy minds. Whatever that meant. I could assume they weren't friendly. I was starting to get scared. I was really lonely. I was here alone in this pitch-black tunnel. The idea of something awful waiting for me terrified me. I thought for a moment about turning back and heading to Shibuya Station via the surface. It was a tempting idea. Did you hear or see the announcement of the sequel to Death Stranding? I mean, I honestly, I'm surprised they're even making a fucking sequel to that game. Like, if your idea of fun is like walking between fucking like whatever the human bases or whatever, transporting material and listening to a fucking baby crying all the time. If that's your idea of fun, then go ahead and fucking get the sequel to Death Stranding, man. That's all I got to say about that. Now, I streamed, I streamed Death Stranding like about a year ago now, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? I only streamed it a few times, and then I was like, nah, fuck this, dude. But I couldn't afford to lose that much time. No, I think that was before you had started watching my streams. So I drove away the fear by thinking about Remi's smile. I held the D-sword in front of me to light up the tunnel. The red light was eerie and just made me feel more afraid. Suddenly, something felt off. It felt like I'd caught a glimpse of something strange. I looked around harder to see what it could be. There, 10 meters ahead of me in the tunnel, I saw something sticking out of the ground. I looked closer. It wasn't sticking out of the ground. It was about 20 centimeters tall, and it was a Seraton figure. What? What the hell was an anime figure doing here? It was completely out of place. This was a dark subway tunnel, a train line connecting two stations. Most people would never be allowed here in their entire lives. And there, in the middle of the tracks, was an anime figure. It was my favorite version, too. The post-awakening version. And her chest was smashed in. Was that my figure? The one I dropped in the confusion at Scramble Crossing? What was it doing here? And it was standing straight up, with a seductive smile on its face, looking at me.
なんでセイラが
ふーん、タッキーにはそう見えてるんだ。
I heard a voice. It was Sarah's voice, the way I'd always imagined it in my head.
ま、なんでもいいけどさ。
In the time it took for me to blink, she'd grown from a figure to full human size. She shook her sexy body at me, just like a real human would do. Her huge breasts bounced. Her hair waved around her body. Was this my delusion?
ねえタッキー、遊ぼうよ。
I heard a voice behind me. I turned around in surprise, and there was another Seraton there.
リミッチのことなんてほっといてさ。
And not just behind me, to my left, to my right. The Seratons were multiplying. They were pouring forth out of the darkness. I watched them, feeling seriously creeped out. Before too long, the number of Seratons had reached the 3 digits. Bro, the fuck? The 100 Seratons surrounded me, speaking in unison.
いっしょ、ぼけなす。
One of the Ceratons to my front charged at me with a smile on her face. She had a huge hammer in her slender arms, and she was swinging it at me. The impact was real. When I blocked with the D-sword, I could feel it travel through the blade and into my body. She'd hit hard. My hands felt like they were going numb. I could even feel the pain. And then I understood. This was real. It wasn't a delusion. All of them were real booted. All of them were my enemy.
遊んでくれないとぶっ飛ばしちゃうぞ。
僕の嫁なら道を開けて。
やだ。
それなら。
I just have to force my way through. I gripped the sword tight. The flames decorating the handle burned brighter. More red light started coming from the sword. I swung at her, at my wife. The blade had no weight. It traveled smoothly, right along the path I'd wanted it to travel. And it sliced her in half. There was no sensation of cutting through flesh or bone. It barely took any strength at all. Seira's sexy body was cut clean in half, diagonally, and fell to the ground in a spurt of blood. Even her organs were realistic. They were a nasty, glistening pink. I looked away.
ごめん、セイラ。
I'd killed my favorite anime character with my own hands. For an otaku, nothing could be more painful. But still, I had to keep going.
強い強い。さすがタッキー。そんなタッキーが好き。もっと気持ちよくして。遊ぼうよ。めちゃくちゃにしてあげる。楽しい楽しい。
Each of the Seiras was saying something different. Their voices were a flood of sound that threatened to swallow me. I needed to stop thinking of them as Seira. I told myself that they weren't her. I sliced through the Seiras blocking my path so that I could move forward.
どいてよ。
A flash of red light moving in an arc. A slicing blade in the darkness. I swung my blade horizontally and killed 4 of the Ceratons in a single motion. One of them grabbed me from behind. An arm wrapped around my neck in something like a sleeper hold. I could feel large, soft breasts pressed up against my back. Another Ceraton tried to grab my leg. I stabbed the D-sword through her face. Her pretty smile melted, leaving a hole behind. Bro, this has gotta be the weirdest freaking fight in the history of anime / visual novels. Like, bro. It hurt to breathe. I was being strangled. I was going to suffocate.
浮気しちゃダメ。
The metal club was right in front of my face. I spun around, changing places with the Seraton strangling me. My back was to them both now. The one holding me relaxed her grip.
リミッチのことなんて忘れて。
I shook the Seraton strangling me off, and then spun around again, swinging the D-sword. 3 Seratons were running towards me. My sword severed their legs. They all fell forward at once, and I stepped over their bodies and kept going.
強い男って好き。
I brought the blade down on the Seira in the back, who was swinging her club around. She blocked it with her metal club. The weapon cut through the club, and her brain too. The D-sword wasn't really cutting anything. It was melting anything it touched. No matter how hard, no matter how soft, no matter how cold, no matter how hot, the sword burned through anything it touched, vaporizing it instantly. It was a chilling sight. Countless anime characters, all with the same face, all calling my name, all trying to kill me. I let out a bestial scream to give myself strength, and pierced the chest of the Seira to my front. She grabbed the D-sword. Her hand vaporized almost as soon as she touched it.
熱い。熱いよ。
I was stunned. Fear welled up from deep inside my body. A horrid chill ran down my spine. My body was frozen in place. This wasn't Seira. Seira would never try to hurt me.
タッキーのボケなす。
I heard the sound of some ribs breaking. I could hear a nasty sound coming from the bones in my right arm, too. An impact echoing from within my own body. It blew me backwards. I slammed into the wall. I hit my head hard. My vision started to go black.
腕組みしよう。
Her metal club came down at high speed and smashed into me. My left arm turned to meat paste at the elbow. It took a big chunk of the concrete wall with it, too.
腕が。タッキー、逃がさない。
Another club came at my legs. I had no strength at all in my right hand. Even moving it a little caused tremendous pain to echo in my brainstem. But I ignored the pain and slashed out with the D-sword anyway. It ripped through the club easily, and I could feel a scream slip from my lips from the pain. I leapt at the Seira in front of me. I pushed the D-sword into her chest and yanked it out. Seira's blood was all over my hands. Even though she was an anime character, her blood was still warm. My mind was going numb. The only thing I could feel was pain. I wanted to shut it out, but I couldn't. As long as I felt this pain, thick red blood was pouring from my crushed left hand. Even holding the D-sword with my right hand was painful. My bones ached so badly, I thought I would pass out. I realized I was sweating from my entire body. The drops were getting into my eyes and making them sting. My vision was going blurry. The Seiras were rushing towards me, getting close. Their happy laughter echoed in my ears, shaking my eardrums. Suddenly, a thought came to me. With these kind of injuries, I might not last more than a few hours. But that was fine. I was a delusion. By tomorrow, I'd disappear anyway. It didn't matter how badly I was hurt. As long as I could save Remy, as long as I could destroy NOAH too. If they wanted to take part of my body, I'd gladly give it to them. So... The club came at me once more. I thought about dodging it, but the exhaustion and pain slowed me down. It hit me straight in the temple. I could feel the massive spike embedding itself into my skull. The world shook. I blacked out. It was dark before, but now I couldn't see anything. I rolled, and as I rolled, I checked to make sure the D-sword was still in my aching right hand, and tried to stand up with my crushed left hand. Exposed bones smacked into the bare ground. What felt like an electric shock ran through my body. For a second, I passed out. I woke up immediately. My vision came back. My body was floating. My legs touched the ground. I used the centrifugal force from being knocked back to charge into the crowd of Seiras. I swung my right hand. My bones creaked. Blood spurted from the Seiras. The smell of blood hung in my nose. Was it my blood? The Seira's blood? I couldn't tell anymore. It was all mixed together. I was covered in blood. Even my blurry vision had turned red. I kept lashing out with the sword. I didn't know how many I'd killed now, or how long it would take. It felt like the Seiras were multiplying infinitely. A Seira clung to my right hand. I flailed the D-sword, dragging her along with it. But she didn't fall off. She yanked my arm in an impossible direction. The bone jerked out from its socket. I couldn't move it anymore. The D-sword was going to fall from my hands. I felt the vomit flying up from my stomach. I gagged on it. The taste of blood spread through my mouth. Maybe one of my broken ribs had damaged my organs. A million kinds of pain were devouring my body. I was going crazy. I wished. I couldn't stop myself from wishing. I wanted to be free from all this. I knew it was impossible, so I didn't expect it to work. A smiling Sarah was staring into my eyes. I kicked her in the jaw hard and forced my rapidly numbing right arm to move as best it could. It felt like my nerves were being set on fire. My whole body was hot. The pain from the exposed bone had spread not just into my arm, but to my whole body, like my body was shattering. I heard what sounded like the scream of a dying animal. I wondered whose voice it was before realizing it was my own. My fingers on my right hand moved, just a little. I picked up the D-sword, a delusion. An image of tying it with string. In an instant, it became real, and the D-sword was bound to my hand with the string. I had to go to Remy, past this darkness. I spat out the blood that was pooling in my mouth. I was surrounded by piles of Sarah corpses. More Sarahs were kicking them over to get at me. A ripple appeared in the pool of blood. I slowly shook my head. I bit down hard on my teeth. And right after that, all the Sarahs instantly turned 2D. The ones who were standing became life-sized pop-ups. The ones who were on the ground became Dakimakura covers. Bro, what the fuck is this, dude? They'd returned to where they belonged, the two-dimensional world, and they never moved again. Well, that certainly was a unique fight. I bowed my head for just a little, as if in silent prayer, while a part of me was thinking that blood-stained Guro versions of a Seira Dakimakura were never going to sell. I still felt like I was about to pass out at any moment, so I bit down hard on my lip to stay awake. He's gonna expire because he's the delusion version of Shogun, and Shogun is gonna die very soon, so... I started to walk through the dark tunnel once more. Yeah. That's my understanding, is that, yeah, when Shogun dies, then the delusion version of Takumi also dies. All right, I am gonna go ahead and stop here for tonight. Yeah, so tomorrow I will stream Chaos Head NOAH once again. No Genshin Impact tomorrow. Since I finished the story quest. You want to try and cast out any hiding Zanes. I don't think Zane is here. If he was, he would have said something. All right, well, so yeah, tomorrow is more Chaos Head, and then Saturday we'll get back to the God of War DLC. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow, and have a good night.